The family home, traditionally a place of refuge at the end of a long working day. But when the home of your dreams turns into a house of horrors, when spirits move in and try to move you out, it's time then to call on medium Johnny Fiore and specialist house cleanser Ian Lawman, the team from Living with the Dead.
You know you're being watched, you can feel it.
This wall here, someone has lost their life behind this wall.
Feels bad.
I ask of you to leave these people alone. Get them out. Get everyone out. Out, out. Quick, 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 quick. Go, go, go.
At the top of most houses there is a loft, a space in the eaves for families to store belongings, not needed from day to day. Old toys, suitcases, boxes of rubbish, sometimes even something of value waiting to be discovered. But sometimes, something a little more sinister lurks under the rafters. Dawn and Kevin Warren have lived in their Church Gressley home for the past 22 years. The house itself was built in Victorian times, and they planned to do the place up. However, as soon as they started the renovation work, they started to notice things happening.
We was hearing bangs and footsteps and sounds, but we put it down to the heating being put on because the house had been empty 5 years.
Then something happened which started to make them wonder if there was more to this house than met the eye.
One evening my husband says, come on, we'll go for a drink. We were sitting in the pub and Alan Fairbrother, his name is, he's passed away now. He came in and he says to Kevin, he says, what's Dawn doing, having a good beak behind the curtain? And Kev says, I don't know what you're talking about, mate. Because I've just seen her. Kev says, no, she's over there. Well, he went a bit white. And he says, well, who was that then? He said, well, I don't know, but there's nobody in the house.
It was an incident that made everyone wonder at the time, but Dawn brushed it off as just one of those things, until something unexpected happened one night.
There was an occasion I'd been on a night shift and I was in bed. I dozed off for a few hours and I turned over, and as I turned over there I saw the girl standing at the bottom of the bed. She'd got a long white nightdress on and she'd got long hair with a bit of a wave in it. I came downstairs. I couldn't go back up there.
The girl. It was the first time she had made her presence felt, but this was a figure who was going to feature strongly in their lives over the next few years. Again, Dawn wasn't sure what she'd seen, and again she put it down to her imagination. But then one day, she was having a rest in the living room.
I opened my eyes, and there she stood again. And she was there as plain as day. It was exactly the same thing as what I saw a few years before, and I knew this time, no, I hadn't imagined it.
This was a family who, before they moved to Church Gressley, hadn't experienced anything supernatural. Mum, Dawn, is a former nurse, forced out of work because of a back injury, leaving Kevin supporting the family, with his income as a builder. Joel is your typical 14-year-old boy, into football and kickboxing, and daughter Jodie works in the accounts department for a local catering company. Since the appearance of the girl, the level of activity increased, with moments of unexplained banging, lights going on and off, and strange goings-on around Dawn's collection of musical boxes and dolls. After weeks of disturbance, they started to record what was happening on their home video camera.
Earlier on today, I heard a bang, and I come upstairs to see what it was, and it was one of my mum's porcelain dolls that fell off, and there's no way it could have been knocked off.
The incidents continued with unexplained sounds, seemingly of people walking around the house, keeping them awake at night. Now it's starting to affect their whole lives.
I mean, it's worrying me, it's bothering me. I mean, you literally lie in bed at night, you open your eyes and you can hear it walking across the floor, you can hear the creaking of the floorboard. That is eerie to me.
It's now started to affect my 14-year-old son. he started to see things. It's just not right. And I mean, after all, I mean, he's got his education to concentrate on. He can't be looking over his shoulder every 5 minutes.
Coming up, the Warrens discover something in the attic that could be the source of all the spirit activity. And Living with the Dead medium Johnny Fiore sheds light on why it seems so prevalent in the back room.
Someone has lost their life behind this wall.
The Warren family moved into their Church Gressley home 22 years ago. Ever since, they found themselves at the centre of unexplained activity.
When we first moved in, we just thought it was the creaking and banging in the house just moving because it'd been empty for 5 years.
However, it was seeing a vision of a girl that forced Kevin to question his scepticism.
I was down here alone, swung round the door, and then I seen her for the first time. She just, the girl, long blonde hair, went walked straight through me like.
Then one day, Kevin went into the kitchen to cook dinner.
I looked in towards the pantry, and there I seen a little old lady. She just stared and stared at me, and I stared back, and then I quickly got out of the kitchen.
So far, all of these happenings had affected just one family member at a time. But that was about to change. One day, Jodie was helping Dawn in the kitchen.
I said, Jodie, can you get me a loaf of bread out of the freezer? The next thing, the loaf of bread went flying across the kitchen. It was thrown, but we didn't see anything, but it went flying.
And then shortly after, Dawn started to get the feeling she was being watched.
They used to make cushions and things. The most frightening experience I have actually had, I switched the machine on. I thought, oh, I can do it now before I go to collect my son. And I kept feeling there's somebody watching me. I turned my head and I saw a dark shadow walk across. I know what I saw and I did not imagine it. That's when it started to get seriously frightening.
The girl, we got used to living with her. I mean, she was no threat, no nothing, but this other thing is when it's here. That is, I mean, it's worrying me, it's bothering me.
This darker presence now brings the constant feeling of being watched.
You know you're being watched, you can feel it. It's got so bad, I've even thought about moving. It's just like living in misery and depression and nerves, and it's not fair to have a quality of life like this.
The town of Swadlincote is rich in history, being over 900 years old, and with a long heritage in coal mining and pottery. At one point, over 6,000 men were employed to work in the collieries, a dangerous job in which many men lost their lives. Dawn and Kevin's house dates back to the 1870s, in a part of the town where most houses were lived in by coal miners. So why was all this happening to them? What was causing it? Dawn sought the help of paranormal investigators from her local area to try and get some answers.
Dawn asked us to go to this house in Church Gressley because she was very upset about it and very emotional about the activity, what they'd been seeing in this house, especially upstairs in the back room.
As soon as you walk into the door, there is quite a strong energy that you're sort of like, oh, what's going to happen next? I found it very intriguing, and certainly the bedroom in the house, when we went up there, I expected the door to slam behind me. It was a bit intimidating, to be honest.
When we was investigating the building, we saw dark figures moving around upstairs, and at one time we believe one of our members of the team was pushed down the stairs.
When I went into the bedroom, I really wanted to go through the wall. I kept banging on the wall and going, I want to go to the other side of the wall. I was so insistent I wanted to get through this wall, and there was no way through.
The paranormalists had led them to the wall in the back room, and it was then that Kevin made a surprise discovery.
When we bought the house, my husband didn't look in the loft straight away. When he did go up there, he says, you don't ever believe what's up there. And I said, what? And he says, there's a chair.
This was something they'd never noticed before. It had sat in the dark in one corner, old and forgotten, and it raised some questions. How had it got there in the first place? The loft hatch was only a few inches wide, and there was no other opening, no way to get a chair of any size in.
I said, how the dickens are they going to get a chair up there in that little hole? He says, well, I'm telling you, it's there.
And then there was an incident a few weeks later that made them think there was more to this chair than they'd first thought.
We decided to put the Christmas decorations in the loft. My husband went up to get them down, and the chair was on its side. When they went to put the Christmas decorations away, it had been moved, it had been sat up. Nobody had been up there.
Apparent visitations from a mysterious girl, shadows crawling in dark corners, and now the discovery of this forgotten relic. This is a story which raises questions, and one where medium Johnny Fiore hopes to find the answers. Born a sensitive, she comes from a long line of spiritual readers, and for her, it's all about the girl they've seen.
Hopefully we'll find out who this girl is, what her name was, how she lived her life. Any type of apparition that has appeared to several people, they all can't be, making up a story or a fib. So I'm excited about that.
Arriving at the house, Johnny takes a moment to gather her thoughts and prepare herself for what might be ahead. Every haunted house brings its own story, its own particular reasons why spirits might linger within the four walls. Her job is to see if she can also sense the spirits the family feel inhabit their property, and she hopes that by making contact, she can work out the story behind these events. Once inside, she discovers that daughter Jodie has remembered something she was told as a child, which could explain why the girl is now haunting them.
Jodie, that's my daughter.
That's your oldest daughter, right?
Yeah, she's seen this lady when she was little. And apparently she passed away under that window, either on a large chair or a two-seater settee.
If this girl did indeed die in the chair, it might explain why its continued presence in the house is causing these problems.
Furniture can be haunted, and there is the infamous case of the chair that's haunted in the Sandhutton Inn, which is not far from York. And this chair was commonly sat in a couple of 100 years ago by a man called Busby. And he was hanged for misdeeds, and he cursed the chair, saying that anybody who sat in it would come to an unfortunate end. A fella's fallen off a scaffold and died, and even the old landlord, he'd put the chair in the cellar so that nobody could sit in it. And then he answered the phone. When he came down, his friend laughed and said, I've sat in it, I'm not worried. And a fortnight later, he died as well.
Now, what about this chair?
I've never seen it, but Kevin?
Oh, yeah. When I first went up there, the chair sat there, and there was a half-bottle whiskey bottle at the side of it, and this boarding been put up there, so somebody must have been sitting up there or used it like that. But we never know how the chair got in there.
Now Johnny has the full story from the family. She wants to see what's been going on around the house. Paranormal investigator Mark Webb also joins the investigation, a research specialist with 12 years' experience into claims of haunted houses. As they walk upstairs, Johnny is immediately drawn to the many dolls that decorate the house. These have also been at the centre of the paranormal activity. Dawn explains how the dolls have been seen to move on their own.
She was landing between there,
It's impossible, though.
and the hat was placed so far, like that, on the floor, against that far away from my feet.
Johnny believes these objects are taking on feelings of who or what's around them, sometimes causing things to happen.
We become emotionally attached to our things, okay? Just like you're emotionally attached to your dolls. Like the bricks and mortar in the house, you become emotionally attached to this. You've put your imprint on your home. You've put your imprint on your dolls. Just like that chair has put its imprint on this house, too. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I understand that.
We actually took a doll on an investigation
Okay.
to a reputedly haunted location. And,
Right.
and when we took the doll, we had all sorts of things happening. Now, it seemed to pull all the spirits from the building out as well. So a bit like the chair that we've got, where we believe the chair's got something associated with it, it pulls everything else out. So if the fabric of the building or the dolls have recorded something,
Yes.
maybe that's a reason for it being pulled out.
Okay, let's move into this. Is this your bedroom?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Johnny and the family enter the back bedroom. This is the room which is next to the attic space where the chair sits. It is the place in the house that the family feels has the strongest atmosphere, something Johnny picks up on immediately.
This room makes me feel really lightheaded and dizzy. This room, even though the ceilings are high, I feel very claustrophobic.
I've had times where I can't breathe. I've woke up in the night choking. That's happened quite often. And I'm constantly looking round.
Yes.
I can sleep for so many nights, and then other nights I'm just looking round as if I'm looking for something. And my eyes either go over to the window or over in this corner or over there.
Very, very claustrophobic in this room. I don't know how you guys slept in this room.
This was Jodie's bedroom. She was so afraid we had to change bedrooms.
Sometimes you get the feeling that they're just walking through. You know, you can hear footsteps walking through.
This is saying murder. This is just someone has lost their life behind this wall. Someone was bricked up in here with a purpose. What has happened here is sinister. Just like that chair, this is evil. When dolls start moving, when things start to happen like that, spirit is trying to get your attention. Now, Jodie, this used to be her bedroom when she was a little girl. It ran her out of here.
Yes.
What's ever behind there, that little crawl space, didn't mean anybody any good whatsoever. We're not going to let you get forced out of your home, okay? You had your babies here. You've had good times here. We're not going to let them run you out of here, okay?
Johnny's immediate priority is to get the chair out, so she asked for it to be removed. The next day, a team of builders come in to access the loft. While it's still in the house, she feels the family's spirit problems cannot be dealt with. The chair has been bricked up behind the back bedroom wall, leaving no access for it to be taken out. So the original joists of the downstairs ceiling have to be cut away. If it is this chair which is causing the problem, perhaps now these spirits can be found and released. For the first time in who knows how long, the chair sees the light of day as its woodwork of the girl from passing over.
I just see this girl running out in like a nightie, just running.
I feel sick, shaky, my heart's pounding. It just makes me just want to run.
As they gather in the living room again, Kevin feels he's being affected by the presence of the bad spirit.
I'm feeling a very heavy pressure on my shoulders and around me, top of me, around this throat part here.
That's basically this guy keeping you there. Eventually it will send you mad, you know, because that's their game, that's what they're trying to do, and they'll try and make you ill. If we left it any longer, I don't want to scare any of you, but if we left it any longer, we would get early signs of possession to one of you. We've got good souls and bad souls. The girl I was sensing in the house, even though they're different eras, even though they're not connected, he's after her in the spirit world. So even though he was devil worshipping and tormenting people in his lifetime, he's now doing that in the spirit world. So he's after this girl. I feel he must have done some form of Ouija or something like that, what would have opened a doorway, unfortunately. The way for us to do this would be to use the same technique as he used. The only way I can get rid of this guy is if us as a team do a Ouija to draw him in. I don't know what will happen. It's the only way forward we can get rid of him.
Well, I'll agree to anything to get rid of it, because living like this is just awful.
With the Ouija board in place, Ian starts the séance by calling on the spirit of the girl to come forward first.
Sure, I just want to put your forefinger lightly. Louisa, if you're here and you can hear my voice, please step forward, darling. come towards me. I ask you to step forward around this table. Please move the glass. Use our energies around this table to move the glass. What's that bang? Have you had that banging before? Is it the neighbours or?
Could have been the neighbour.
Louisa, I invite you forward to move this glass for us. I've got you, darling. I can see you now. Can you push the glass to somebody within the seance, within the Ouija board session, please? That's a good girl. Louisa, push the glass to the centre. Push the glass to somebody else around this table. Or push the glass to the person you pushed it to before. I know he's coming, darling. I know he's coming. You need to push the glass a little bit harder for me so I can entrap him for you. Just push it. I can't help you unless you push it.
Ian is having difficulty making contact. His concern is that she will not respond to a man's voice. He asks Anne to call on her spirit.
Push it to the lady you pushed it to before, then move the glass. Anne, could you ask Louisa to move the glass to you?
Louisa, move the glass to me.
Good girl. Ask her to move the glass again if the gentleman's in the room with her.
Louisa, move the glass again if the gentleman's in the room.
She likes your voice. She's scared of me.
Do you think it's because you're a man?
Yeah. You ask her to move the glass if she wants me to help her, and just explain that I'm not here to hurt her.
Louisa, move the glass if you want the gentleman to help you. Who's here with us?
Explain that I won't hurt
He's
her.
not here to hurt you, Louisa. He's going to help you. Oh.
I needed to get the gentleman closer.
Can you bring the gentleman closer, Louisa?
I promise her it won't hurt her.
Promise you won't let him hurt you.
That's good. Can you ask her if he's hurting her?
Louisa, is he hurting you? Move the glass if it's yes, Louisa.
Good girl, Louisa. Is he really close to her now?
Is he close to you now, Louisa?
Louisa, if you can hear my voice, on the count of 5, I want you to push the glass towards me if you've got that strength. Then I can save your soul. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Push the glass, Louisa. Everyone take the hands off quick. Louisa, I ask of you to step forward. Louisa, step forward, darling, towards the light as quickly as possible, where your friends will be there to reunite with you, your friends and family, darling. You're now at peace.
Now that she's come forward, Ian is ready to release her into the light.
It's quite not an emotional ordeal, I thought.
Kirsten was crying.
You was crying?
Yeah.
You're still quite emotional. Is it... It's all right, just take deep breaths. Is it... do you feel because we released that child, or did you feel the emotion from her as well? Yeah.
I got this real happiness feel from her.
Yeah.
When she was going... I don't know, because when we were doing it, I kept saying to myself, come on, Louisa, nobody's going to hurt you. Just do what he asks, you know.
Yeah.
And when she went, I got this ever such a relief feeling, you know, and happiness. It was a really nice feeling. But now there's like a heaviness in this room.
Yeah, it's very dark.
My head feels like somebody's been... It's a heavy, really heavy feeling on me out top of my head and across the feeling on me out top of my head and across the forehead.
It's been quite a journey, but the group still senses the presence of the darker spirit in the room. The work is far from over.
I ask of you to leave these people alone. Get them out. Get everyone out. Out, out. Quick, 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 quick. Go, go, go.
Keep going, Louisa. Keep going, darling.
House cleanser Ian Lawman feels he has successfully released the tortured spirit of past resident Louisa from the house. It was a draining experience for the family and friends gathered in the front room. With one spirit now gone, Ian feels it's now time to banish the darker soul that may have been causing the problems in the house.
This is where it's going to get difficult now. There's no guarantees what's going to happen. Please do not drop hands, okay? As a team, we're solid, we're strong. Okay, let's begin. We ask the doorway from the spirit world, which is death, to be opened. And we ask that doorway to be opened into our world, which is life. I ask for the negative force within these four walls, within this building and within this grounds, to step forward, to use your energy against mine and the people sat here. If you can hear my voice, it's okay, stay calm everybody. Stay calm. Stay calm. Joseph, thank you for giving me your name. Joseph, I ask you for you to step forward. Is everybody okay? Yeah. Come forward, Joseph. I'm here to challenge you. Joseph, no. Step forward.
No! This is not your house! I ask of you to leave these people alone. I ask of you to step forward and leave these people alone, Joseph. Be seated. Be seated, Joseph. Get him out. Get everyone out. Out, out. Quick, 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 quick. Go, go, go. Joseph, get in the seat now, Joseph. Now.
It touched me. I felt it come back. Did you feel it? So it touched me. Yeah, it touched me as well.
You're in my hands now, Joseph. I have you.
Oh.
Give me the strength to entrap him. He cannot leave this chair.
Oh, God. Oh. Oh. It came right by me. It's horrible. Jeez. It touched me.
Finally, Ian feels the spirit move on. He calls them back inside.
I'm really sorry. The only way I could do it is drop hands and hold him as quickly as I can.
Touched me as he came by. He came this way.
This side.
Touched me hair. Yeah, touched me hair and my arm.
And I felt as though he was trying to break me in our heart.
What he was actually doing, the whole intention of is to get me, basically, because I'm the only one who could do anything. So what he was trying to do is throttle me, do whatever he could, and that was a way forward. That's why I needed this seat facing here, because if it was there, then you two would have suffered.
I didn't feel anything for him at all, not like the girl before. I just didn't feel anything for him at all.
Ian feels the spirit is now held within the chair, leaving one final task for the group.
We can either smash this up or burn it.
Burn it. I suggest burn it.
Burn it.
Yeah, I should think burn it.
After 200 years trapped in the attic of their Derbyshire home, the chair finally meets its end. Ian's work is done. It's been a long night for everyone, but with the demise of the chair, the family is now ready to move on with their lives, with a new sense of freedom from the spirits that have plagued the house for so long. So, who was Louisa? A search through the parish records by local historian Clyde Dissington turns up a clue from the 18th century burial receipts for the area.
Looking through the records, there was a girl who died quite young in that street, and that is the address from where the funeral went. She died in 1790, and she was 17 years of age. Her name was Louisa Hart. I don't know what her employment was, but she could have been a domestic servant.
A return visit to the house finds Dawn and Kevin in a much happier frame of mind. After 22 years of feeling plagued by spirit activity, it appears the ghosts have now gone and the house is at peace.
It took a few weeks to settle down again. It's nice to feel human again.
And with a new start, they've also decided to strip away the look of their old house and begin again.
I've decided to decorate the whole house with a nice coat of paint and an uplift and make it even more cheerful. I want to make it back my home again without anybody else interfering with it. Thank you very much.
She's a lot happier, the wife, like. Joel's actually staying upstairs now. The whole house it's happier, you know, the whole atmosphere.
It doesn't feel as heavy and depressing as it used to, and it's also a lot happier when you walk in because the people who live there are a lot happier than what they were.
And what of the chair?
The next day, I asked Kevin to bag up the ashes because I just didn't even want to know. Now we've buried them and they've said goodbye to them, and it's the end and it's a closure to everything. I'm really pleased about it.
I'm a lot happier now. She's happy, I'm happy.